Have you ever opened your eyes in the morning and already felt tired? Before you could even take a deep breath, the phone starts ringing, messages pop up, emails pour in, and your meeting schedule hits you all at once. And before you even know what is going on, your mind is already pulled into the worries of the day. I used to live like that. Every day began with running after work, running after the news, running after urgent things that were not always important. And strangely, no matter how much I got done, there was always this feeling of emptiness inside. Then I remember one time, during a meditation retreat in the mountains, I woke up at 5 a.m. No cars, no phone, nothing but a stillness so deep I could hear my own heartbeat. The first light of the day slipped through the leaves, and I thought, could I start every morning like this? In Buddhist teachings, the morning is not just the start of a day, it is a doorway. And how you step through that doorway shapes the path ahead. There is one teaching I never forgot. If you master your mornings, you master your day. If you master your day, you master your life. It sounds simple, but the meaning is deeper than you might think. I know, in modern life, it is hard to have a morning that is not chaotic. But just like replacing the water in a vase helps flowers stay fresh longer, the morning works the same way. When you take a little time at the start of the day to nourish your mind and heart, everything else becomes clearer and lighter. Today, I want to share with you 9 morning rituals drawn from the teachings of the Buddha as well as everyday experiences, my own and those of many others. These are not complicated rituals. You do not have to be a monk or live on a mountain to do them. You could start as soon as tomorrow morning, right in your apartment with a cup of hot tea in hand. But before I share each ritual with you, I want you to imagine something. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. You wake up, the soft light of dawn fills your room. You have not touched your phone. You have not thought about your to-do list. You simply take a deep breath in, feeling the cool fresh air fill your body, and exhale gently, like the wind. In that moment, you are not in the past. You are not in the future. You are here now. And that feeling is so peaceful that you do not want to lose it. Have you ever had a moment like that? Maybe during a vacation at the beach or on a quiet autumn morning in your hometown. But what I want you to know is, you do not have to wait for a holiday to feel that way. You can create that feeling every morning if you know how. I saw this with one of my former patients, a man in his 60s who had struggled with stress for years. He told me his mornings always began by turning on the TV and listening to the news. As a result, his whole day was filled with anxiety. But when he tried replacing those 10 minutes with a quiet ritual, just sitting with a cup of tea and breathing, he told me that for the first time in years, he felt like he was no longer chasing the world, but living with it. What I am about to share is not some distant secret. They are small habits, but when combined, they form a powerful foundation. Just like building a house, you cannot put on the roof before you have the foundation. The morning is the foundation for your entire day. And you know what? I do not expect you to apply all 9 rituals right away. You might choose just 1 or 2 that fit you best. What matters is not the number, but the quality, the presence and sincerity with which you do them. I still remember a teacher who once told me, when your mind is in the right place in the morning, you are less likely to lose your way throughout the day. And that has truly been the case for me. On some days, just 5 minutes of mindful breathing in the morning is enough for me to enter my work with a completely different mindset, calm, clear, and less reactive to unexpected situations. So, in the next few minutes, I invite you to walk with me through each ritual. Each one will be like a seed, and your only job is to plant it in the soil of your morning. Do not rush to see results right away. Be patient, water it every day, and one day you will look back and realize the garden inside your mind has changed more than you ever imagined. Because in the end, the morning is not just the time before work begins. The morning is the chance for you to meet yourself again. Ritual 1. 3 breaths to meet life. Again. I want you to try this tomorrow morning. When you open your eyes, do not rush to sit up, and do not reach for your phone. Just stay where you are, or if you like, sit up slowly. Place one hand on your belly and the other on your chest. Breathe in deeply. Notice the cool, fresh air passing through your nose, filling your lungs, gently expanding your chest. Then breathe out, as if you were letting go of everything left over from yesterday. Only 3 times. 3 breaths, but each one is a meeting between you and life itself. There is a little story I love. A meditation student once asked his teacher, "How can I find unshakable peace?" The teacher smiled and said, "Every morning, before your thoughts wake up, take 3 deep breaths as if you were meeting life for the very first time." At first, the student did not believe it. What good could 3 breaths possibly do, he thought. But he tried anyway. And after just a few weeks, he noticed something strange. Even though his work schedule was still packed, even though unexpected calls and urgent emails still came, there was a quiet space inside him that remained untouched. That quiet space was not because his work disappeared. It was because he began his mornings with presence, not with rush. I used to be the same way. There were days I jumped out of bed the moment the alarm went off, rushed into the bathroom, and brushed my teeth while already thinking about a dozen tasks. It felt like the world was pulling me along. But when I learned to pause, just to breathe, it felt like I was holding the reins of my life again. Have you ever felt that the moment you wake up, your mind is already running ahead of your body? These 3 breaths are how you bring your mind back to your body. It is like dropping an anchor into the water, keeping the boat from drifting away before you are ready. If you want to practice, try this. Tomorrow morning, set your alarm for 2 or 3 minutes earlier. When you wake up, close your eyes and breathe in, silently counting to 4. Hold that breath for a moment, then breathe out, counting to 6. Repeat 3 times, and when you finish, notice how your body and your mind feel. You will see. Just 3 breaths are enough to help you move through the day with a slower, deeper rhythm, as if you have been reset to start fresh. And I want you to remember, this breath is not just air. It is a reminder that you are still here, that you still have the gift of another day, and that everything else can wait a few more minutes. Ritual 2. Drink a glass of water as if you were drinking light. I want you to picture this. You have just woken up. The early morning air is still crisp and cool. You walk into the kitchen and pour yourself a glass of clear water. The glass sparkles under the soft light of dawn. You pick it up, but you do not drink it right away. You just look at it, and you realize this is not just water. This is rain from months ago, morning dew from a quiet field, the flowing current of a distant river. It is clouds, wind, and earth, all coming together to be in this glass, right here in your hands. In Buddhist teachings, our body is compared to a boat, and water is essential to keep that boat steady and strong. A body that is dried out will make it harder for the mind to feel fresh. Drinking water is not only a biological habit, it can become a spiritual ritual if you bring your full attention to it. A friend of mine in California once told me that after attending a meditation retreat, he changed the way he drank water. Before, he would drink while scrolling through his phone. But now, every morning, he stands by the window, looks out at his garden, and drinks slowly, sip by sip. He said it makes him feel reconnected with the world, not just drinking to quench thirst, but drinking to nourish himself. Have you ever tried drinking water without doing anything else? No checking messages, no thinking about work, just drinking and feeling? It sounds simple, but that is mindfulness. And mindfulness, even in something as ordinary as drinking a glass of water, can change the way you begin your day. Tomorrow morning, you can try this. After you wash your face or brush your teeth, pour yourself a glass of water. Hold the glass with both hands, noticing the coolness of the surface against your skin. Smell the water. Even if it has no scent, notice the purity in it. Take a small sip and feel how the cool water flows down your throat and into your stomach. When you finish, take a deep breath and smile, knowing you have just nourished your body with a gift from the earth and sky. Some people might ask, why make such a big deal out of it? Isn't it just water? But here is the point. This big deal is what makes the act meaningful. When you turn something small into a ritual, you are teaching your mind to appreciate each moment. I once heard a monk say, "When you drink water, you are also drinking sunlight. Without the sun, there would be no rain, and without rain, no life." And since that day, whenever I lift a glass to my lips, I remember that in this stream of cool water flowing through my body, there is an entire story of the earth and sky. Ritual 3. 3 things to be grateful for. I want you to try something very simple tomorrow morning. Before you do anything else, close your eyes and think of 3 things you are grateful for. Just 3. It could be the warmth of the blanket that held you through the night. It could be the gentle golden light spilling in through the window. Or simply, it could be the steady beat in your chest, a sign that you are alive, that you still have a chance to love, to renew yourself. In Buddhist teachings, gratitude is not an emotion reserved only for special moments or big achievements. It is a way of seeing, a lens through which you look at life. When you put on the lens of gratitude, you begin to notice the small gifts around you, gifts you might otherwise overlook. I remember one of my former patients. Her name was Emma, and she lived in Oregon. She often woke up with a heavy heart, worried about her health, her finances, and all the things she had not yet accomplished. Every morning, before her feet even touched the floor, her mind was already flooded with fear. Then one day, her daughter gave her a small notebook and said, "Mom, try writing down 3 things you are grateful for each morning." At first, she did it reluctantly, thinking it was silly. But within 2 weeks, she noticed her mind beginning to change. She started seeing things worth cherishing. The sound of birds singing outside, the smell of toast in the morning, or a phone call from an old friend. And as her attention shifted to these moments, her anxiety slowly gave way to peace. Have you ever tried that? Just 1 minute each morning, letting your mind find 3 things to be thankful for. You will see that even on days that seem to have nothing good, there are still small rays of light. If you want to practice, try this. Keep a small notebook and pen on your bedside table. Each morning, after you drink your water, write down 3 things you are grateful for. The words do not have to be poetic, just honest. From time to time, read back through the old pages to remind yourself that no matter how many challenges you face, life always holds warm and beautiful moments. There is a line from the Buddhist scriptures that I love. Health is the greatest gift. Contentment is the greatest treasure. And I believe that every time we remind ourselves to be grateful, we are opening another door to that contentment. When you start your day with gratitude, everything ahead feels lighter. Difficult moments will still come, but they no longer have the power to take over your whole mind. You already have a foundation of peace from the very start of your morning. Ritual 4. Practicing compassion. Morning is a special time to plant an important seed in your heart, the seed of compassion. In Buddhism, compassion is not just the feeling of pity when you see someone suffering, it is a deep wish. May all beings be free from suffering, paired with the will to act, whether through gentle words or a kind thought. I remember one morning meditation at a monastery. The teacher guided us to close our eyes and think of 3 people. The first, someone you love. The second, someone neutral in your life, maybe a cashier at the grocery store or the mail carrier. The third, someone you have had tension with or someone you find difficult. For each person, he asked us to silently say, "May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be at peace." When it came to the third person, the one I did not like, I felt resistance right away. But then the teacher reminded us, just send the wish. You do not have to change your feelings right now. So I let go and tried. And strangely, even though it was only in my imagination, my heart felt lighter. Have you ever tried sending a good wish to someone you do not get along with? They might never know, but you will feel a kind of release. A friend of mine, Samuel, is an emergency room doctor in New York. His work is always high pressure, sometimes facing patients who are angry, shouting from pain or fear. In the past, he carried that stress all day long. But after adopting a simple ritual before leaving the house, sitting quietly for 2 minutes and sending wishes of peace to his patients, coworkers, and himself, he told me it felt like putting on a soft suit of armor, protecting himself while still keeping his warmth in every shift. If you want to practice, tomorrow morning try this. Sit still, close your eyes. Think of someone you love. Silently wish them, may you be safe, may you be healthy, may you find peace. Think of someone neutral in your life. Send them the same wish. Think of someone who frustrates you, and even if it is difficult, try sending that same wish to them. Finally, do not forget to send the wish to yourself. In the scriptures, the Buddha once taught, "A mind of loving kindness is like the sound of a bell. It travels far, and whoever hears it feels lighter." I believe that if we begin each morning with such a bell, the world around us will gradually change, starting with our own hearts. When you step outside after practicing compassion, you will see others differently, with less judgment, more understanding, and sometimes just a smile or a gentle word is enough for you and another person to carry warmth with you for the rest of the day. Ritual 5. Read a short teaching. One thing I have realized after many years is that morning is when our mind is the clearest. It is like a lake that has not yet been disturbed by the wind. And it is in this moment that whatever you plant in your mind will leave the deepest imprint. That is why I often start my day by reading a single verse, a short meditation quote, or a teaching from the Buddha. Just one line, but if you read it slowly and let it sink in, it can become a compass for your entire day. You can try this. Keep a small book beside your bed, maybe the Dhammapada or a collection of Zen sayings. Each morning, open it to a random page. Read slowly, letting each word flow through your mind like cool water. I remember the first time I tried this back when I lived in a small apartment in Seattle. That morning, I opened the book and found the line, "When the mind is at peace, all is at peace." The sentence was so short that I almost dismissed it. But throughout that day, whenever something upset me, those words echoed in my mind, and I realized I did not have to let my mind be carried away by every event. You might wonder, can just one short sentence really make a difference? Sometimes the right words at the right time can be more powerful than a long lecture. It is like hearing a familiar melody. It stirs something inside you before you even know what to call it. A friend of mine, Linda, has a beautiful habit. Every morning she chooses one teaching and writes it on a small piece of paper, slipping it into her pocket. During the day, whenever she feels stressed, she takes it out and reads it again. She told me, "It feels like I am carrying a teacher with me all day." Tomorrow morning, you might try this. Before breakfast, open a spiritual or Buddhist book. Read one sentence or a short passage. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, how will I live with this sentence today? In the scriptures, there is a saying, "A timely teaching is worth more than 1,000 meaningless words." And I believe that if you plant a seed of wisdom in your mind in the morning, it will bloom into flowers of peace throughout the day. When you step outside, you will feel as if you are carrying a small light within you, a light bright enough to guide you through even the difficult moments. And it all begins with a single sentence, read in the morning. Ritual 6. Lighting the lamp of intention. I want you to imagine the morning as a blank sheet of paper. Nothing has been written on it yet, and no one else has had the chance to write on it either. You have the opportunity to make the very first marks, and those marks are your intention for the day. In Buddhism, this is called right intention, part of the Noble Eightfold Path. It is not about planning every minute of your day in detail. It is about deciding clearly, how do I want to live today? I remember a friend named Maya. She is an accountant, always working under tight deadlines and constant pressure. Before, every morning she would jump out of bed and immediately think about her to-do list, almost always starting the day already tired. But after attending a meditation retreat, Maya began a small habit. Every morning, after drinking her water and breathing mindfully, she would close her eyes and quietly say to herself, "Today, I will keep my inner peace. She told me that simple sentence was enough to guide her all day. When clients complained or numbers became a mess, those words acted like an anchor, keeping her from being swept away. Have you noticed that if we do not set our own intention in the morning, we often get pulled into other people's intentions? Emails, messages, and requests from all directions, and we end up reacting instead of remembering what we truly want. Tomorrow morning, you can try this. Sit quietly after you have completed your earlier rituals. Take a deep breath in, exhale slowly. Ask yourself, what energy do I want to bring into today? It could be patience, gratitude, or joy. Once you find your answer, say it quietly to yourself or write it down. It does not have to be long, just one sentence, but one that comes from the heart. For example, today I will listen more than I speak. Today I will treat everyone with kindness. Today I will focus on what matters most. I love an image a teacher once shared. Light a lamp in the morning and keep it burning all day. That lamp is your intention. It will not stop the wind or the rain, but when the road gets dark, you will still have a light to walk by. When you live the whole day with a clear intention, you will find yourself less lost. Every action and every word will feel more meaningful because they all lead back to what you chose at the very start of the morning. Ritual 7. Mindful movement. I know that for many people, mornings move fast. The alarm goes off, you jump out of bed, head straight to the bathroom, rush to get dressed, gulp down a quick cup of coffee, and run out the door. And your body only truly wakes up somewhere on the way to work. But there is another way to begin, slower, softer, and much more gentle on yourself. It is called mindful movement. Mindful movement is not about hitting the gym hard or running as fast as you can. It is simply about letting your body wake up together with your mind. You might stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, bend forward gently, or walk slowly around your room. The most important thing is to know what you are doing and feel it fully. I remember a friend named Aaron, an entrepreneur in Chicago. He used to start his mornings by opening his laptop the moment he sat down at his desk. The result? By 9 o'clock, he already felt drained. After a short meditation retreat, he tried spending just 5 minutes in the morning stretching. He told me that when he raised his arms high, took a deep breath in, then exhaled and relaxed his shoulders, it felt like he had let go of part of the weight he was carrying. And strangely enough, that whole day, he felt far less stressed. You can try this tomorrow morning. Stand tall, take a deep breath, and raise your arms overhead, feeling your chest open. Hold for a moment, then exhale, lowering your arms and relaxing your shoulders. Repeat a few times, paying close attention to every movement, the stretch in your back, the way your breathing flows with your body. If you have more time, step outside for a short walk in the soft light of dawn. Feel your feet touching the ground, hear the rustle of leaves, notice the early breeze brushing against your skin. In these moments, you do not have to think about what you need to do today. You are simply here with your body. A teacher once said, "When you walk, know that you are walking. When you stand, know that you are standing." And when you apply this to your mornings, your body stops being just a vehicle carrying your mind to work. It becomes a companion. Mindful movement is like flipping a switch that connects your body and mind. Once they are in sync, your whole day flows with more ease, strength, and steadiness. Ritual 8. Looking up at the sky. I have a very small habit that brings me an unusual sense of peace. Every morning, after finishing my earlier rituals, I step out onto my porch or open the window wide and look up at the sky. That is all. No phone, no news, no rushing. Just looking up, noticing that up there. Everything is still moving in its own way. Some mornings, the sky is a clear blue with clouds like soft ribbons of cotton. Other mornings, it is gray and drizzling. But no matter the weather, the sky always reminds me that the world is much bigger than the worries filling my mind. Do you remember the last time you stood still and looked at the sky? Not while waiting for the bus, and not while scrolling through your phone in the park. I mean truly standing still and taking in the sky, as if it were the very first time you had ever seen it. I know a man named Paul who lives in Arizona. He went through a long period of depression after retiring. One day, during a conversation, I suggested he spend just 5 minutes each morning in his backyard, looking at the sky. At first, he laughed and said, "That sounds like a waste of time." But then he tried it. A few weeks later, he told me, "When I look at the sky, I feel smaller, and I also feel like my problems are smaller." Tomorrow morning, try stepping outside or standing by your window. Look up, take a deep breath. Let your eyes follow the clouds or watch the morning light change colors. No need to analyze, no need to name anything. Just observe like a child discovering it for the first time. In a verse, the Buddha once reminded us, "Those who live with nature live with themselves." When we look at the sky, we are not just looking at scenery. We are remembering that we are part of that nature, never separate, never alone. Just a few minutes each morning, and I believe this habit will give you a very different kind of peace, the kind that does not come from solving all your problems, but from knowing you are standing under a vast sky where everything is changing. And so are you. Ritual 9. Sending a blessing to your day. One thing I have learned after talking to so many people, no matter where they live or what they do, is that all of us want our day to go well. But instead of simply hoping for that, why not plant the seed for it right at the start of the day? This ritual is so simple, you can do it anywhere, sitting on your bed, standing in the kitchen, or out on your front porch. All you need to do is place one hand on your chest, close your eyes, and whisper a blessing for your day. It could be, "Today will be a good day. I will be present in every moment. I will carry peace with me wherever I go." I once guided a group of older students in California to practice this. There was a woman named Margaret in her 70s living alone after her husband passed away. She told me that before, every morning she would wake up feeling empty. But when she began sending a blessing to her day, she felt she had a reason to get out of bed. Not because that day was more special than any other, but because she had begun it with a gentle reminder to herself. You can also extend this blessing to others. After blessing yourself, send one out to the world. May everyone I meet today be safe and at peace. When you leave home with that mindset, the way you see and treat people will naturally shift, and you will be surprised at how often the world reflects that energy back to you. Tomorrow morning, try setting aside just 1 minute to do this. Close your eyes, breathe in deeply, and exhale slowly. Whisper your blessing. Smile as if you have just made a promise to yourself for the day ahead. The Buddha once said, "Just as a single candle can light 1,000 others without losing its own flame, kindness never diminishes when shared." A morning blessing is that first candle you light, and when you step out into the world with that light in your heart, you will find that, no matter what the day brings, you still have a lamp to guide your way. So, we have just walked together through 9 morning rituals, small steps, but if practiced with presence, they can transform the way you live. From 3 breaths to meet life again, to drinking a glass of water as if you were drinking light, naming 3 things to be grateful for, practicing compassion, reading a short teaching, lighting the lamp of intention, moving mindfully, looking up at the sky, and sending a blessing to your day. Each one is a seed. A seed will only grow if you patiently water it. You do not have to apply all 9 right away. Just choose 1 or 2 and do them every morning, like a farmer tending to the soil, consistently, gently, and without giving up. I know there will be mornings when you feel tired, rushed, or simply not in the right state of mind to practice. That is normal. We are not aiming for perfection. We are aiming to return to ourselves as soon as we can, even if it is just with 1 mindful breath or a whispered blessing. The magic of these rituals does not lie in how much time you spend on them, but in the quality of your presence. 1 true deep breath, 1 heartfelt moment of gratitude, 1 genuine look at the sky. These can shape your mind for the entire day. In the Buddha's teachings, everything is impermanent. Today is not the same as yesterday, and tomorrow will be different still. And because of that, this morning, right now, as you hear these words, is unique. You will never have this exact moment again. So why not begin it in the best way you can? I want to leave you with an image. Imagine your mind as a lake. If you begin the morning with noise, the lake will be full of ripples, and all day long it will reflect that turbulence. But if you begin the morning in stillness, the surface will remain calm, and all day it will reflect that peace. Tomorrow, when you open your eyes, remember, you have the power to choose how you step through the doorway of your morning. Just one small ritual, done with your whole heart, and you will notice the difference. As the Buddha once said, "There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path." And a mindful morning is simply the first step on that path. I wish you a day that is peaceful, whole, and deeply meaningful.